Welcome to partner Thai massage. We'll go ahead and just have a seat next to their feet or in between their feet. Just placing our hands on the tops of their feet. This is just a nice grounding exercise to get us connected with our partner. So we'll just close our eyes, take a deep inhale, bring the breath deep down into the belly space, and just let it all out. Let go of any stress you may be holding on to from your day. Any energy that no longer serves you will just release with each exhalation. And we'll begin to connect with our partner. So anytime that you're doing massage or body work of any kind, it's important to have that connection with the person you're working with. That way you're able to sense where there's tension in the body, where it may need a little extra love, and then the depth that's appropriate as well. So let's take a couple more deep breaths, feel really grounded in our space, connected to one another, setting the intention to share love and share energy with one another right now. And we're just going to start. You can open your eyes and we'll just begin rocking back and forth, applying pressure one hand at a time, and just gently, I like to come up on my knees and just gently rock from side to side, moving up the leg. And you're just moving up and down the lower leg. And all the way down to the foot and the toes. Just letting your body weight determine the amount of pressure as you rock side to side. We're going to move back up the legs. Kind of take a little hop over the knees and continue varying that pressure all the way up the thighs. Up just below the hip bone. Good. Now we're going to take one of the legs. We're going to place one hand behind the knee. The other hand grabs right at the ankle, and we're just going to bend the knee. And then lay the leg out to the side. Yep, just like that. And then we're going to place one hand by the knee, opposite hand up by the hip, just like that. And then we're going to go back and forth with our weight, applying pressure. So one hand is going to move, the opposite hand is going to move up towards the hip, and the hip hand is going to come down towards the knee. So you're kind of moving opposite directions of one another. Yeah, perfect. And throughout this session, you should have your focus on how the tissue feels on your partner. So how firm it may be determines how much tension there may be in there. And just being aware of that throughout the work. Because that'll let you know what areas need more attention, more time, and also the depth of pressure that it needs. Good. We'll go ahead and straighten that leg back out. And bend the other leg. And do the same thing. Start with a stretch. One hand down by the knee, one hand at the hip, and just gentle pressure, giving a good stretch there of the groin area. you'll gently go side to side, moving the hands opposite directions. And feel free to communicate with one another. Let them know what feels good, what doesn't feel so good, how deep the pressure you'd like. Yeah, you can absolutely talk to one another. We're not in church.
Yeah, my hips are very tight.
Yeah, that's usually the groin and hip area can be really tight on folks. So it's just.
I was trying to think of what you might feel when you were doing this.
I'm just trying to.
No.
Yeah, well, usually married couples kind of just naturally know the amount of pressure and like what, you know. So that's pretty cool. You already have that deep connection. That's awesome. So we'll go ahead and straighten out her other leg, and we're gonna move up. And you can take the bolster with you if you'd like. I'm used to tumbling around on the floor, so I don't always use the bolster, but that's what it's there for. So you just come up facing her head. We're going to start with the hands. We're just going to give a nice stretch. So I like to bring the thumb and the pinky and just kind of stretch them away from one another.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we'll stretch the other fingers right at the base of the finger, right in that joint area. And just give a nice little massage to the palm. And then I like to pull the forefinger away from the thumb. And then kind of place my palm right over the thumb, yep, just like that, so that I can bring my forefinger and thumb around to this pad right here and just apply pressure right at that pressure point. I'm going to get out of the way of the video, so.
Okay.
And so you're providing a stretch as well as pressure on the pressure point. Yeah. This is a great pressure point for relieving a headache or tension in the body. All right, good. I like to just kind of grab the hand like so, and having one hand wrapped around the wrist, just moving the wrist around. A lot of folks are using their hand and wrist a lot, typing, mousing, whatever. So this can be really good to loosen things up here for them. Okay, then we're gonna move on up the arm. We're gonna grab, keep that hold like you had there, yep. And then opposite hand goes under the elbow. I'm gonna watch how I keep his arm in a slight bend at the elbow. And I'm just gonna lean back and give a nice stretch to the shoulder.
Yeah, that's good.
And then you can relax down. I'm gonna bring the arm back. So the elbow goes up towards the ceiling. The hand flips around so that the fingers are pointed towards the feet. You place their hand down. This is a great stretch, opening up the shoulder, and then of course, yeah, and then also giving a good stretch to the hand and the wrist. So just hold that stretch. You can kind of feel around the back of their shoulder just to get a sense of where they might be holding tension. Good. And then we'll come out of that stretch. We're going to then scoot closer to them and place the top of their arm on your leg. Yep, just like that, with a good bend in the elbow. And we're just going to use the soft part of our forearm and give it a nice massage. All the way into the pecs. And with this style of massage, Thai massage, it's all about using your body weight. So leaning into the pressure, exactly. Good. I'm going to go ahead and bring the forearm over our leg. I'm actually going to turn and face the opposite direction. Get the forearm, and then the same thing, using the soft part of your forearm, applying pressure into those forearm muscles that get real sore on folks, especially around the elbow, around the attachment site. Good. And go ahead and relax their arm down. Staying on this side of the body, we're going to grab their opposite arm, and we're going to stand up into kind of a low squat. We're going to do the same thing we did on the other arm, but across the body here. So you'll grab the elbow area, keep a bend in their arm, and then lean back, pulling and stretching. Good, relax the arm down, step across their body, and we're going to do the same thing with the opposite arm. And remember to keep a slight bend in the elbow, just so that it's not overextending. Perfect. All right, release that arm down. I'm going to grab my cushion, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite arm, starting with the hand. Giving it a nice stretch, thumb to pinky. And moving along to the other fingers. Giving them a stretch right at the first joint. And then we'll just massage the palm. And then we'll do the same thing we did before, stretching the forefinger away from the thumb. And then getting that pressure point right in the pad below the thumb as well. You getting that with the forefinger? Awesome. Good. And we'll grab their hand, kind of a loose little hold the other hand around the wrist, and we move the wrist around in circles, going in both directions. Alright, let's go ahead and have the other hand at the elbow, keeping a slight bend in the arm, and we lean back for the stretch. And then release. Go ahead and bring their forearm up onto your leg. And same as we did the other side, using the soft part of your forearm, gently massaging up and down the forearm. So I want you to, can you sit like me in a way that you bend this knee and yeah, and then bring the arm over. Yeah, and then so then you're leaning forward into the pressure. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier for me too.
Exactly. Perfect. That's what I want it to be. I want our body positions to be as easy and as effortless as possible. That's the beauty of Thai massage. It's easy for the giver because you're using your whole body. Good, and then we're just going to bend their arm the opposite way and get the bicep and the pectoralis. Now we're going to do that nice stretch that we did, bringing the elbow up towards the ceiling, hand flips around, comes down on the mat. And just nice little stretch. Using the other hand, you can massage the back of the shoulder a little bit. So like back under here, right in there, yeah. We tend to hold, we tend to hold a lot of our tension right there behind the shoulder. So that's a good way to get in there a little bit. Start to loosen all that up. Good. Go ahead and bring their arm out of that stretch and relax it by their side. And now I'm going to scoot all the way up, and I'm actually going to have you just watch me first.
Sure.
And then try it on her. Just because I have to turn my back to you. So basically you come to their head and bring the hands behind the neck, okay? And I like to just give a gentle, using the top pads of my fingers, just give a gentle little lift right at the natural curvature in the neck. So you're just giving a little lift right around where you'd imagine each vertebrae is. Just giving, it's very, very gentle, not a lot of pressure. You're just encouraging that natural curve in the neck. Because a lot of people have lost a lot of the curvature in their neck due to posture and other reasons.
Car accidents.
Yes, and car accidents, very much so.
Lost a lot of my curvature.
Yes, that is absolutely true. So then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly clasp my hands together, like so, right behind his neck. And I'm going to lean my weight from side to side, giving a gentle, very gentle little pull and movement from side to side. Now this is very gentle.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not tugging at all. It's just I'm leaning back ever so slightly to give that little bit of stretch. All right, so you give it a try. And feel free to ask me any questions. Yep, absolutely. There you go. That's the whole point. Yes. Yeah, and then just a very light clasp. And then you're just slightly shifting your weight from side to side, leaning into it rather than using your arms. Perfect. Perfect. And that's why communication is so important. Looks great. Good. We're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to ask our people to turn on their side.
On either side?
Whichever one you want.
Okay, let's start on this side.
And we're actually going to go to their backs. And you want to have them scoop close to you. So scoop closer to me, their backs. So that your hip is right up against their back. We're going to reach underneath their arm. And right at the top of their shoulder, I'm going to clasp my hands. And I'm going to lean straight back. And that's going to give them a nice stretch along the neck. Feel good, Patty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is a really nice one. So just make sure that your head is heavy and completely letting go to get that nice stretch. Good. Release their head down. We'll let their arms just fall forward like so. And what I like to do is I like to create an L with my hand and put it right around the natural shape of their their scapula, right around just like that. Okay, and then I use my thumb and my fingers at the same time, and I just massage right around the scapula. This is where people tend to hold most of the tension in their shoulders and upper back, is right along the outline of the scapula. So you can just massage in there.
It feels really good. I didn't actually realize it was right there.
Yep.
It feels like it ends up being more towards the center of your back, but I can definitely feel he's gotten.
Yes, and you
into the
can,
tension.
yeah, absolutely. You can also there are trigger points along the spine, but most people's tension starts closer to the scapula and moves out towards the spine. So when it's very advanced, you're right. You have trigger points all along, all the way to the spine.
Yeah.
But most of it originates right here in the scapula.
That's interesting.
Yep. The reason for that is all the fine motor that we do with our hands.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep, it ends up back here in the shoulder. Alright. Now we're going to, yeah. Then I'm just going to come up on top of the scapula, so kind of the meaty part right behind the armpit. And I'm just going to use my forearm like I did before and apply pressure right in that meaty part of the back of the shoulder. Good. I'm going to go ahead and scoop back towards the hip. And we're going to do the same thing, applying pressure using the forearm and leaning into and away from their body as we apply pressure. Getting the glutes and the hip.
These are super sore right now.
Yep. Most people are really sore in this area.
Well, you know, I sat for 6 days at
Oh.
this journey.
Oh my goodness.
It was so ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Like this big trials. Ugh.
Wow.
I didn't feel like I've been sitting for so long.
That
A long
wreaks
time.
havoc on your body.
Yeah.
Sitting, it really, really does.
Yeah. And I know we're like not supposed to cross our legs, but like I did, you know.
Oh,
like
it's
we-
habit. Yeah.
it's habit, and yeah.
All right, and let's go ahead and move down towards their feet. Okay, so we're gonna scoot all the way around towards the front of their bodies, where their body's facing. Their bottom leg should be straight, top leg should be bent. And we're gonna grab right around the ankle, and our foot is going to go right up into the hamstring.
Okay.
You're gonna use the ball,
Okay.
the pad right here underneath your toes, and it's gonna be a gentle push and pull at the same time. We pull their ankle towards us, and our foot gently pushes into the hamstring. And we just go back and forth, leaning back and forth as we apply pressure.
Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm. Should I be staying up on my side a little bit more?
Maybe so.
Maybe so. Okay.
Yeah.
Up there. Okay. There. Okay.
And this takes a little, yeah, it takes a little experimentation to get the right amount of pressure and the right angles.
Mhm.
This is why I do the video, so you can take it home and practice. I don't expect you to get this all right away. This is a little bit more advanced of a Thai move than I teach mostly. But this is the best way to get the hamstring, honestly.
Okay.
So you will get the hang of it with more practice.
Cool. That's good.
All right, now we're gonna scoot up towards their hip. You're gonna face their body and bring the bent knee up on your leg. And then you're just gonna, again, use your forearm and lean into the pressure along her IT band. And yes, the IT band can be very tight and very tense, so be gentle with the amount of pressure,
Gotcha.
okay? Real gentle to where, it's just barely any body weight,
Sure.
and especially if this is new for her.
Yeah,
And
I
the
don't
more
work
you
my
do it-
hands much, so.
Yeah, the more you do it, obviously, the looser it'll get, and you'll be able to apply more and more pressure. So yeah, we just start out light.
Yeah, that's good.
There you go. So I don't know if you noticed, but I also teach a self-massage workshop where I teach you to use a foam roller, a tennis ball, and a golf ball
Oh,
to
interesting.
give
Okay.
yourself a full body massage
Yeah.
with
Wow.
with trigger point therapy.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you have tight IT bands, the foam roller is your best friend
Yeah.
and your worst enemy.
I we don't run as much anymore, but I've always, since high school, I've always been a big runner, and I never bought a roller.
Oh yeah,
And for the most part, it was okay. But now that we don't run as much anymore,
now you're hurting.
I'm way more tight.
Yeah, for sure.
Did just get new shoes, so we gotta
Yeah,
start
yeah,
using
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, for real.
All right, and have you turn on your other side now? by their shoulder, just like we did before with that stretch. Make sure that her spine's right up against your hip. You're gonna reach under that arm. Clasp the hands at the top of the shoulder and lean back for the stretch.
Here, come up for real quick. Alright, now go. Very gentle. It's not as much as it could be right there.
It's always fun to hang out and watch what goes on these sidewalks.
Yeah, because
It's never boring.
You can't really see in. Like,
Right.
you don't really notice that there's anything going on in here.
Exactly.
You kind of really look.
It's very true.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and release them down. Make sure that arm is just relaxed forward. Again, with the shape of our hand like this, it'll fit right around the scapula, and you can just kind of massage around the scapula. My work last night did well. I can tell you're a lot softer today. And then we'll just apply that pressure with the forearm right into the posterior shoulder. This is also the rotator cuff muscles. So if you've ever had rotator cuff issues, this is great to release these muscles.
Have you had them?
No.
Even when you played baseball or anything?
That's lucky. That's good.
Yeah, that is lucky.
Shoulder injuries are the worst because it's
And
the
you were a
most.
swimmer. You were a swimmer too.
Oh wow! That just means you're strong. You have strong shoulders and evidently flexible enough that they didn't tear.
Exactly.
That's the whole deal, is the balance between strength and flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's scoot down towards the hip. And use that forearm again, right in the hip and the glutes.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think I might do something this weekend.
We gotta get you to my next class, Patty. Gotta get you on a foam roller.
Well, I think there's actually a bruise over here.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I ran into something like a table.
Oh, don't you hate that? I know, like the counter edges.
Every weekend, it's always like, so there's a new bruise. What do you know?
Totally. And the ones on your hip are always giant.
They're giant and they're deep.
Yes.
So you can't really, like, I don't even know they're there until, like, you start pushing on them.
Yep. All right. Keep moving down towards the feet. Come all the way around. And again, bottom leg is straight, top leg is bent. Now you gotta figure it out on this side. All right, so we grab at the ankle, the pad right under our toes, applies pressure at the hamstring, and it's a gentle push and pull. So we lean back as we pull on the ankle, and naturally we're pulling their leg into the pad on our foot. So you're really not even having to push with your leg. You're pulling the leg into your foot's pressure. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out my long legs versus.
I know, and that's the issue too, is body size difference always makes a difference, but you do eventually figure it out.
Yeah.
Just takes a level of experimentation.
While trying to balance on the cushion.
It's a good workout for you
Yeah.
also, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sweating like crazy
Yeah.
over here.
Exactly, it's great because they get a massage and you get a workout too. And then the next day you switch,
Yeah.
you know? Perfect.
These pants don't help either. My foot just slots right past.
Oh, totally.
That's okay, you're okay.
You're getting the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can perfect it later. All right, good. Let's go ahead and scoot up by the hip. Again, we're going to face their body, bring their leg up onto your leg. And then forearm pressure right into the IT band, making sure to be gentle.
This one's probably not as tight. It's not as tight. Definitely still tight though.
So something else that's important to mention is as you get better at this, more in tune with one another's bodies as well and the amount of pressure they need, the correct angles to get at, all of that, as that becomes more and more familiar to you, you'll also be able to begin discerning when certain areas need more attention, when you
Right.
have like a knot, right,
Yeah.
of tissue or a trigger point.
Right.
When you begin to become conscious of those areas, the best way to treat those areas, rather than digging, you want to actually just apply deep, constant pressure.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I'm doing with the IT band right here.
Okay.
He's got, I can tell it feels like a little egg in there of tissue that's bunched up, and I'm just applying deep, constant pressure.
Right.
Rather than kneading or digging,
Yeah.
when you knead and dig, you're causing, in my opinion, you're causing more harm than good because you are causing microscopic tearing to the tissue,
Okay.
which in most cases turns into inflammation.
Yeah.
And in
it's
our-
information.
In our day and age, we're trying to avoid inflammation at all costs, right?
Yeah.
So I tend to steer clear of a whole lot of digging and kneading action with massage and more deep, constant pressure.
Okay.
Because you'll hold that pressure and you really will feel the knot just slowly melt.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's just pressure.
It
on
takes
the-
practice to
Yeah.
get there, to
Yeah.
gain that sensitivity of feeling that happen, but you absolutely will. And that's the beauty of doing this work, is we become not only more body aware within ourselves, but more aware of our partner's bodies,
Okay.
which is always good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have our person sit up. You can sit in cross-legged position if that's comfortable for you. And I'm gonna have you scoot up on the mat some for me. We're gonna get behind, and I know you can't see me, but I will cue you. So basically we're gonna start with just a nice stretch in the chest and torso. So I'm gonna bring my, just one of my feet right at kind of the lower back, right along the spine. I'm gonna grab the front of the elbows and I'm just gonna gently pull as I very gently apply pressure at the spine. So it's very gentle, you don't wanna hurt them.
I need this up. Oop. Can you think of your foot and your leg and
You know what you can also do is you can stand or be up on your knees.
Yeah.
yeah, try that.
I'm not very flexible.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. And then you can just, how do I do this? Sorry.
Put your knee
I'm
in.
not as tall as you.
So put one knee
Yeah, you can use your knee instead.
Yeah.
And then just gently, actually grabbing right in front of the shoulders, just press back.
That's
Better for you?
yeah.
yeah. There's always modifications when you got different size people, you know.
Yep.
You figure it all out. Good, and then since you're up here by the shoulders, I like to just switch my body weight from side to side using just the palms of my hands on the top of the shoulders. This is where a lot of people carry a lot of their tension, right in the top of the shoulders here. So this feels really good for most, to release that tension.
Sure.
All right, and then last thing we're gonna have them do is bring their hands out in front of them and just lean forward to wherever's comfortable. If you'd like the cushion on your lap, Patty, yeah, that just gives you a little more support there. And then I like to just run my hands up and down the spine, shifting my weight from top to bottom. Do you want another one?
No, I think this will be
Good?
good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
So this is a great hip stretch, a hip opening
Yeah,
stretch.
definitely my hips.
Yep. As well as, you know, getting the muscles along the spine. All right. And that completes our session. You're going to take a water break or bathroom break, and we're going to switch partners.
All right.
Adam, do you have any questions for me?
Probably. Not that I can think of, but
Okay, no worries.
more likely, how about